Hello, my name is Jessica Perez, and this is my presentation of the gait development from early childhood to older adult. In the early childhood, when we see the young toddler first learning how to walk, we see that he has a very wide base, and for the stride length, his arms are held out in front for balance, and the stride length is inconsistent. It's more like a wobble side to side, and it changes based off the momentum the toddler is moving. He'll start off with like one wobble to the side, and as soon as he picks up momentum, it just goes faster, but it's a very choppy walk. It's not a consistent walk. For the arm swing, the arms are not really swinging. They're more held out in front of the body for balance, or he's either reaching for the toy that they're showing him to get him to walk from person to person. Initial contact, he has loss of balance and coordination, and like I said earlier, the gait is inconsistent. It's very choppy. Mid-stance, the toddler pauses in order to regain control and then starts back up again. It's never consistent because he's trying to gain balance. Terminal stance, the toddler does try to rush through to meet the goal and finish the walk. Obviously, it looks like he's not very comfortable with the walk and he doesn't really like it, so he'd rather be sitting on the floor, which is why they had the toy in front of him to try to get him motivated, but still he'd rather be sitting on the floor. Pre-swing and initial swing, the toddler holds his arms out in front of his body and takes one step first and then goes into the gait, but it's more of a wobble than a walk actually. Initial swing and mid-swing, the toddler does get off balance and tries to regain posture by stopping completely and then restarting the walk again. Mid-swing / terminal swing, the toddler does come to a stop when he reaches his destination. Walking from person to person, he'll stop and sit down, and then he'll get back up and continue. Or he's picked back up to get it to continue again. Also, there is a link here at the bottom to the video so that you can click on it and see what we're looking at as far as the walk. For childhood, the toddler, the base of support, it's a little wider, not as wide as when the other toddler was first learning how to walk. It has very narrowed a bit, and in childhood, the child has acquired more balance and is more stable. The stride length, the stride is consistent. The child tends to run and skip rather than actually walk. And the arm swing, the arms are at the side of the body. The only times they're held on in front is when she's trying to reach the toy that they're throwing at her or telling her to catch. And they do swing a little bit side to side, but they're not consistent like opposite leg, opposite arm. They're just swinging for the motion. Initial contact loading response, she's constant running and hopping. The child immediately goes into, basically when the child starts walking, she'll take a couple steps and immediately goes into the run or skip, and she's able to maintain her balance. Mid-stance, the child goes into plantar flexion during the hop running phase. Basically when she starts running or skipping, she's doing it on her toes or the ball of her foot. Terminal stance, the child goes for the object thrown to retrieve it and throws it back. The child tends to run towards the mother rather than the person giving the instructions. The child is obviously more comfortable with the mother, so she runs back and forth to the mother. And when she tries to throw the toy back to the person or to her mom, it's a very choppy throw. It's not full range of motion. She's just like a side swipe. Pre-swing and initial swing, the child's arms swing at the side of the body during a movement unless she's trying to grab or catch an object that the arms are held in front of or downward position. Initial swing, mid-swing is able to maintain balance when the child is in plantar flexion. The arms tend to swing more. When running, the knees drive up as if the child was doing high knees. So when she's running and skipping, it's not like a normal run and swing at 90-degree angles. She's like has horse stop legs, like she's doing high knees when she's doing the skipping. When she does the loading phase also, the leg does not come up to a 90-degree angles. The knee, when it comes up in her frontal position, it is at a 90-degree angle, but when it's back in the loading phase, it does not come at a 90-degree angle. Late mid-swing, terminal swing, a child runs, hops back and forth between mother and instructor. If the child is offered a toy or given a new challenge by the instructor to throw it, kick it, catch it, or sit down and get up, when the child sits up, just lets herself fall. When he's telling her to sit down and get back up, she gets up, she uses both hands, has a little struggle, but when she sits down, she just lets her body fall on the floor. And as far as sensory and perceptual abilities, it affects their development of gait because children lack visual acuity. They have not fully developed their visual perception, and because of that, they lack hand-eye coordination. As we saw in the video, when she tries to kick the toy, when the instructor tells her to kick the toy, her foot goes right over it, so she overreached in that instance. She's overreaching. I mean, even us as adults, I've done that before. When I played soccer, I was going for the ball, and I totally missed it. My foot went right over, and I fell right on my butt. But it's more common with children because their visual perception, they don't understand the object's motion, their space, and their perception of things around them being in motion. They don't understand that yet. Same when she was trying to throw the object. No, I'm sorry. When she was trying to catch the object, she was underreaching. She had her arms out in front of her, and they were pointed downward. So when the object came, it went right between her arms. She was never able to catch it. She couldn't even catch it against her stomach. And to see what we're talking about, the video again is here at the bottom. You can click on it to watch and see the child's walk and how she reacts to thrown objects and catching and kicking. For the adults, the base of support is more narrow. It's at shoulder width, and they have great balance. The stride length is very consistent. It's very normal, average. It's stable. It's continuous movement. The arms are swinging at the side of the body at a normal. They're not robotic. They are very natural. And they're just at the side. They're not at a 90-degree angle. They're just natural. Initial contact and loading response. When the foot is making initial contact, the foot that's in the swing phase, for example, if the right foot is making contact and the left foot's going to be in the swing phase, when it comes back up and the left leg comes back up, it's going to be at a 90-degree angle getting ready for that swing phase. In mid-stance, now that the left leg is now in a 90-degree angle, it's going to get ready to swing forward and switch places with that right leg. So in terminal stance, the left leg is now completely in swing phase. It's not fully extended yet, but it's in the middle of the swing phase, and it's about ready to fully extend and make contact with the ground in front of it, heel to toe, of course, and then start the process all over again. And pre-swing, you see that the body weight is now shifted because the left leg has now come forward and has been placed on the floor and is now taking the weight off the right leg, so that the left leg is now making contact. The left foot is now making contact, and the right foot is now going to come up and do 90-degree angles and load to get ready to do the swing phase and start the process all over again. And again, the adult has complete range of motion. They are stable. Their gait is in balance. They have full fluid movement and complete stability. Again, to see what we're talking about, the video here is at the bottom, so you can click on it, and it also describes the posture and the movement of the adult during the video as well. For the older adult, she had a very, very narrow base. It was almost looked like a foot apart, and the stride length, they were never really full strides. It was more of a shuffle. The arm swing, the arms were never really swinging. She had one arm for part of the walk when she was walking towards the objective. She had her one arm on her thigh and the other arm just slightly moving back and forth, back and forth. And the loading phase, her walk, the legs never once did any of the legs fully load in a 90-degree angle. They were never fully loaded. They never did a full swing phase because from start to finish, her walk was a shuffle. She shuffled across from start to end. It was a shuffle. And as she reached her goal at the end, as she reached her destination, she turned to the side and did a side shuffle. And as she walked back, when she turned around and walked back to her initial starting point, the arm that was originally on the thigh was now at her side, and they were both doing a slight swing motion, not full swing, a slight swing motion. And again, it was shuffle. The shuffle, I assume, was because lack of balance, and probably at that age, hard to move around, lack of stability, and in things like that, she could possibly need a walker or a cane, which is why she was doing the shuffling, because she didn't have the balance and stability that she needed, so she did not feel comfortable with the full stride. To see what we're talking about, here's a video at the end to see what we're talking about, to see her stride. You can see how she's just shuffling, and she's not really performing a full gait as the adult was, or even as a toddler was. The lack of motion we see as the adult gets older, there is lack of range of motion, lack of stability, and balance. It's ironic because when the early childhood is first learning how to walk, they have lack of balance, lack of stability, coordination, because they are learning. And as older adults get older, because of their age and their development, they start to regress on these things, and they again lack the stability, the balance, and the coordination, which affects their gait.